Yo, yo, yo. You are in for a market update summer 2023 real estate style. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Laurie and Kalene, your Colorado's finest agency here in Colorado. We push out a ton of content all about moving to the state, the city we love. So reach out anytime. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to push out new videos twice a week, so don't miss those. And then if you are thinking of moving here, have questions on the market, questions on what it looks like to live here, raise a family here, move across state lines, we'd love to help answer all of those. We helped over 100 families last year make that move. Absolutely love it. Give us a call or text anytime, 720-438-4181.
So we like to do these videos every once in a while and just talk about what the real estate market is doing, what we are seeing, feeling, dealing with on a day-to-day basis, and just relay it not from the perspective of somebody writing an article, but like tangible things that we are dealing with every day.
And we're honest with you guys. I do think that's part of it. You can listen to all these different news stories, but from here, our boots on the ground, we're always going to be, and I just think we posted something on our Facebook group page about a new build tour we did, and one of our clients, gave us some props, and I was like, thank you. And she's like, honestly, you guys are the ones who I trust. So it's hard to trust people these days and rely on people. And you guys were there with us every step of the way. You were honest, and I think that's what we do these market updates for, is our honest opinion about what it looks like to buy real estate here in Colorado.
So with that being said, we aren't going to sit there and tell you now's a great time to buy, now's a great time to buy just because we want to sell a house. We want to be definitely more logistics and, well, here's some pros, here's some cons. Everybody has their own individual and unique situation. At the end of the day, we believe in real estate because we know it's a great investment, short-term, long-term, and everybody needs a place to live. So we come into a video like this with that perspective, but we also want to give you facts so that you can lay out if now's the right time for you and your family to make the move, or if you're going to put the brakes on and wait for certain things to line up. And we just don't know.
Everyone's situation is so different. You guys, yes, we get it. And that's why it's hard, especially when you listen to like articles and advice. Your situation is so different to you and your family, whether that is your circumstances for moving here, your timeline, your debt to income ratio,
how many people you have in your family, what emotions are involved, where you're working, there's tons of moving pieces. And that's what Laurie and I do well, I think, is that when we talk to you on the phone, we are very good at listening to some of those things you're trying to line up, and then pointing out maybe some facts that you're going to want to conversate about before making certain moves. Like maybe you do need to reach out to a lender before you do that move because it could affect this, or maybe we can, give you these tools so that you are well informed, and then you let us know when you're ready to pull that ripcord. Right. We don't know.
So let's talk about number one. I want to talk about interest rates, right? That's the one everyone talks about.
They aren't pretty right now.
They're not pretty, but honestly, like if you look at, you've seen graphs, they're not like crazy off the charts. They're actually, if you look at trends over time, they're right in there with where the averages are. But we're used to those 2s and 3s, yes, 4s the last few years. And so that's the perspective we have now as a buyer. Compared to now in the 5s, 6s, 7s, wherever they may be landing at when you're watching this in your circumstance.
Well, and I would say during COVID real estate, everybody was pushing their pocketbooks, their budget, because it was a very competitive real estate market. So now you may not have to compete with as many different properties. We do still have a shortage of inventory, but you will have to still put together a strong offer, but the interest rate maybe has taken away some of that buying power. So you definitely want to dial in on your budget. And the lender that you're working with, and we have a lender who is absolutely fantastic, he can talk you through. They will ask you, and it to be honest, kind of sounds a little bit maybe like a used car salesman, but they're going to ask you where you want to be payment wise. They're also going to ask you what, all your different moving pieces. How much money are you going to be putting down? They're asking you all of those specifics because we do have a wide array, I guess, of different developments and areas with very different tax rates, with very different mill levies, very different HOA costs possibly involved. And so that when they're asking that question, it's not to be slimy salesperson, it's to really help you put together the pieces. Hey, we want to be at $3,000 a month all in. Okay, so that looks very different if you're in this development versus over here, and here's why.
Yeah, and I will say, you look at those rates. It's everyone talks about the rates, and I think the cliche is date the rate, marry the house, which I kind of roll my eyes at. I get it, but and you can always refinance, sure, but and you don't know what interest rates are going to do. So that's why I said circumstances are so different. Of course, you can refinance down the road, but do you need a house? Are you moving here for a long term? Are you moving here just for 2 years? Those are all different factors that play into it. And we had someone just reach out before we started this video, moving here, thinking of renting, haven't talked to a lender yet, which just get an idea. Just because you talk to a lender to tell them your situation, kind of get a feel for what your payment would be, what your interest rate would be, doesn't lock you into anything. And to let us know, we have a lot of new build options that have a buy down rate. So I was just at one for this weekend for a client, and they were offering 4.99 through
That's
June,
crazy.
end of June, if you went with their preferred lender and locked in that new build. And so there are ways to go around it, but until we know your circumstances and what you're looking for in areas, then we can present to you, here's an option if you wanted to rent. And that was our second point, is renting versus buying.
Well, and that's what, so the person that Laurie was conversating with before, they had a very healthy rental budget. Of course, we can most likely probably find a rental in that price point, but logistically, if you sign a year-long lease, how much money is that out of your pocket that you will never see again?
And you're
You
not
are
having that
literally
equity.
paying somebody else's mortgage, and I get it. If you're moving cross country or, whatever the circumstance is, maybe that's your comfort zone. But the bottom line is, what I know is that you're paying somebody else's mortgage. So full disclosure, maybe that's the right call for you, maybe it's not, but to me, that's the whole reason why I believe in investing in real estate, is because it is a savings account for you and your family when you decide to sell.
And I would say, you talk about property values. We have seen 20-25% here in Colorado. Are they going to continue to go up that much? Absolutely not. Like that, it's not happening
No.
this year. For our clients who are closing this week, they'll probably see a 4 to 5% increase in their home value over the next year,
Which is still
which is
great
average.
equity.
And so, but if you keep going at 20-25%,
No.
our home prices here are even more crazy. So we're at a great steady place right now. I always tell clients when looking to buy right now, do we have multiple offers here in Colorado still? Yes, but it has to hit 3 of my boxes. So it has to be in a great location, has to be priced right, and it has to be updated. If it hits all 3 of those boxes,
It'll
it's
go.
going to go within the first few days with a few offers, not
We
30,
still have low
but it
inventory,
will.
and Colorado is still very desirable.
That is a part of our problem. We do have low inventory as well.
Yep.
So that's another piece that factors into it. Now, if it hits 2 of those boxes, it'll stay on for a couple weeks, and you might have 1 or 2 other offers that come into that property, but it's going to sell. We have a listing right now that only hits 1 of those boxes, and it's going to sit there. And I can tell you that I knew it before it hit the market, because I knew in my head, I'm like, it's not updated, it's overpriced, because that's where we're at.
But it is a great location.
It's a great location. So it's finding that right buyer for that situation at that point. So it just depends upon also what you're looking for, I would say.
Yep.
So renting versus buying, interest rates, we get it, guys. We're with you. Let us help you find the best rate if you are looking to buy and want that investment.
Well, and one thing I'll say about that is it kind of goes back to the cliche thing you roll your eyes about. Date the rate, marry the house. If numbers work out now and rates are high sixes, low sevens. Just imagine if they do go down to into the fives, which a lot of people are saying third and fourth quarter this year, that's what they're going to go to. You can refinance and it just gets better. If the numbers work out now and it's still same price, cheaper than renting, why not keep that money in your pocket?
Yeah. So I like I said, we are, if you talk about offers here, you do have more of a choice as far as not competing with multiple offers. So we're not seeing the appraisal gaps. We are not seeing the inspection waivers, or just like a
Like,
inspection.
take
What
it,
am I
you
trying to
can do
say?
an inspection, but you aren't going to ask for
We have
anything.
different clauses we used to use during the crazy times for that. Typically, we've had some over asking, but if it hits all three of those boxes, escalation clauses, but they're more reasonable. And so people are not going way over asking, having to put extra money down with gaps. It's a more of a steady market, which is actually kind of a breath of fresh air.
Yes. Well, and the third point we wanted to make on this market update video is that we actually appreciate that real estate is back to somewhat of a norm for us. We are still low inventory, so we do still have those multiple offers in certain instances, but we also can write traditional, real estate offers that still give our buyers a lot of leverage. Here in Colorado, the contract is wrote to really protect a buyer pretty much 3 weeks into a 4 week contract. And with that being said, when you have an offer that is accepted, you as the buyer are in the driver's seat up until
We have
that
loan
3 week.
availability deadlines that you can get out of usually 2 weeks before close, depending on how we write that
So
in.
if you find a home you think it's a really good option, Lori and I talk to you specifically through those dates that you're agreeing to in that offer and what they mean. What outs do you have? What due diligence can you still do? It's not a done deal until that closing date. We can still get your earnest money back if something goes sideways, but if you think it's a good fit, let's go down that road. And bottom line is because of the low inventory, you do still have to act pretty quick if there's a home out there that checks your boxes and that is a good viable option. And we can work through all of those other details. That's what we're here for, and we totally represent you as our client, and we do a really good job at it and help coach you through the process.
Yeah, and you have a lot more negotiating power right now, which I think is great, not only with
Yes.
existing homes, but with new builds. Before, I was just talking to Kalene about it this weekend. I used to sit in the phone when those lots were released and like have to drive out there, call, be the first one on the waiting list. No negotiating power with that builder. What is said is what was said. We just had 30,000 taken off a purchase price a couple weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago. They just closed,
Or they can
and
buy down the
appliance were,
rate,
yeah,
or
buy down. So there is a lot more negotiating on existing homes, but also on that new build side as
yep.
well, which I think is great for our clients if they want an inventory home. Then you know that interest rate, you can lock it in. All those different factors come into play at that point. So,
Yep.
there are moving pieces with this market. We get it. We get the anxiety. We get the excitement of moving to Colorado, pros and cons with it. But that's what Kalene said. Like, no, we love to. That's what we're here for. We're your professionals
We
here.
like putting together the puzzle.
And yeah, and like talking about what it, all of those factors make a difference to us, where you want to live, what type of home you want, your financial
You
situation,
definitely don't want
rates.
this. You definitely don't want that. We listen.
Yeah, so I want a new build, I want a low interest rate. Okay, let's tell you your options here with incentives here locally. We talk to the builders reps daily, so we have a good pulse on that, and so we get a feel for what it is important to you, and then our job is to go out and find that for you.
Yep.
So if you're thinking of moving here, we would love to help you out. So give us a call or text anytime. It's us that you get, and we'd love to help you make that move. Any questions, comment below or give us a call.